Okay, so I just want to show you something else that I have done here. As you can see, this is the finished centre, and there's more ruffles and there's more curls. And what I have done, first of all, with a slightly larger cutter, about 2 centimetres large, cut out 3 to 4 petals, soften the edge, flip them over, layer them onto one another, and then pick them up and actually kind of just pinch them forward. You're going to get a nice curl. Actually not too much forward, but slightly. Then you want to take your centre and find somewhere where they'll curl in nicely. So it might curl in here behind this petal and keep the curve. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit of glue. Hope I haven't lost my place, so it was here. And I'm going to pull this in here. Pushing it down, cover the wire, and if there's any excess, just snip that off here. Run that round and just manipulate the flower or the petals as such. Another thing we can do, take a small piece, roll it out, cut a smaller petal. I'm just doing this very quickly. Soften the edge. Curl it to make a ruffle. If there's any gaps, any places that you think it would benefit from adding another ruffle, you can push this into the centre somewhere, and then just with your Dresden tool you can just guide this in. Also, if it's a bit large, the ruffle, what you can do, just cut the edge off. Again, just make a little curl and pop that anywhere where you see fit. So I think here you can slide this in. So just add as many small petals and ruffles as you wish, but essentially you're making kind of like a little ruffly pom-pom centre. Okay, so what I've done is cut out 5 small petals with your second petal cutter up, soften the edges, and I've used this tea leaf veiner by Squire's Kitchen to imprint them. Then I did the same thing with the next size cutter up of a larger size, and I cut out about 6 of those. So they've all been left to firm up a bit. I'd leave them for about 40 minutes if you can. If you're using the Nicholas Lodge recipe, then you might only need to leave them for about 20 minutes or so, because that tends to firm up quite quickly. But if you're using something like set in ice, that will take a lot longer. So you don't want them too hard, you want them to still be flexible, but you do want them quite dry so that they stay in this cup shape. I've got my centre of my cabbage rose, some edible glue, and I'm going to start with the small ones. It usually takes about 6, it could be 7, just depending on how large you've made your centre. And we'll start to attach these. So you just want to put some glue in a V shape, and then we're going to just start placing these over in the gaps. But what's quite important about this is that you want to curl these around as much as possible. So put them over the top and then curl them over. They probably won't stay at the beginning. So just tuck this one underneath. Yeah, they probably won't stay so much, but if you just kind of hold them, and then what you can do is we'll stick them in a little contraption that will help hold them for the time being. So this bit can be a little complicated at times. Tuck these in. Don't worry if this is a little bit messy, because to be honest, you're not really going to see these underneath the larger petals that you're going to add, but it kind of helps to start. And tuck that in. So we're going to hang it upside down, make sure they're attached to the back, and bend them over, and they'll be cupped like this. What I've done here, as you can see, is this one. This has the second layer on, and I've put this in a jar with some cling film, and I can do the same here. I'm going to pop this here, and I'm going to, so I don't know if you can see, actually wrap this around. So I'm going to put the cling film plastic around like this, kind of to cup it, so just to keep them together. And you're going to keep it quite loose because you want this to dry out. If you do that, set that up in another piece of plastic, pop that in there, and you can just leave that to dry. Okay, so I've let that set up for a bit. It's still a little bit soft. You can leave it longer. I'm just doing this for the purpose of the video to get along with it. But yeah, if you want to leave it a little bit longer so it sets up. I'm going to take my edible glue, and now this is the next size up. So you just want to place these over there and cup them around nicely. Slide this one under the next one, do the same. You can pull them slightly at an angle as well as you're going, so that they're kind of curved as such, like spiraling round. So this is going to be a bit difficult because I'm doing this upside down for the purpose of this video, but once you slide them in, again you just want to make sure that they do cup over the front of this flower. There you go. Slide that one under there. Make sure they're nice and secure at the bottom. Okay. And then just cup them over here in a nice fashion. Take your plastic. Use this to help hold everything in place. And then what you can do is, once you rest it in the middle of here, it kind of give you a free hand to just manipulate this into the style that you want it, so they are quite close together. So, yes, so you can see that there. Or you could add another layer of 5. So I'll show you some examples of different sizes. So this is a small one, just a baby starting out. I've only done one set of the 5 leaves around here. This is the next size up with 2 sets of the leaves. So you just do the same thing exactly again. Once the other one's dried, the second layer is dried, sorry, just add the next 6 petals. Oh, we have a nice chunky one here, and this has 3 layers of large petals, which is your biggest one. So there we have it. And once you've done this, you can just dust them up with a similar colour or a darker tone, something a bit warmer, to give it a little bit of an edge or more realistic look, depending on what you want.